In this video we're going to discuss several different methods of getting your cane drone reeds to work. Oftentimes you get reeds in the mail and they do not sound at all. And this is because the tongues have closed down when they should be slightly open like that. This is an example of a reed that's going well. Has a very easy, vibrant tone. But sometimes you get them and they'll be closed down, and we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can get these to work. The first method is the traditional method, which is springing the tongue, and this is how I recommend that you do that. You grab the sides of the tongue, lift it up. You want to grab it by the very tip, hold. I'm holding about ½ inch high, and you simply want to lift it until you feel some strong resistance from the tongue, and then release, and that will open your tongue up quite a bit. This method is tricky to learn, but really it's as simple as that. Very gently grabbing the tip, lifting and holding for maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and you can keep doing that each time, progressively lifting a little more in order to get the right amount of distance between the tongue and the body. If that method is not working for you, sometimes you'll get cane that's very, very resistant to springing, and you might feel that you're going too far. You don't want to break the tongue, obviously. The next method you could try is heat setting the tongue. And this is a little known technique, but it works extremely well. So you would take a reed, and you want to get something underneath the tongue. This is just a small round file. I'm using the back end of it. I'm going to lift up the tongue, put the round file underneath, right at the tip, so it's holding the tongue open. Then I'm just using a standard grill lighter. Light the flame and simply wave it just like that right near the bridle. And you want to go very, very carefully here. It only takes a very small amount of heat right here to cause those fibers to contract and pull that tongue up out of the bed. So you basically want to just wave it under there for maybe a ½ second. You don't want the tongue, the flame to actually touch the cane, but you want to get it maybe a ½ inch away. You can do that a couple different times to try to get the lift in the tongue. The problem with this method is it's irreversible. Once the tongue has been heat set and those fibers have shrunk, it will be open. So if you overdo it, and this tongue could be as high as that. I mean, well, maybe that high. And you're going to have a reed that's just absolutely roaring and taking a tremendous amount of air. So just go careful with that method. One of the most foolproof methods is what's called the old paper clip trick. This is what a paper clip should look like if you're going to use this on your reed. The way this works, this is simply inserted into the back end of the reed. If you watch the tongue opening here, as I insert this, this will spring into the bed and push up on the inside of the tongue. See that? And you can go in as far. Obviously you would never have it that open, but just for way of demonstration, you can go in as far or as far back as you need to set that height of the tongue so that it vibrates correctly for you. I'm going to demonstrate how to make one of these. You're going to want to get standard size paper clips. These are the #1 size, the medium size, not small, not big. You're going to unfold it. You can do all this by hand. until you get to this point here. Okay. And this you want to pull up like that. And then you want to bend this tip down. If you don't bend this tip down so that it looks like this, once you push this into the cane, this tip is going to dig into the cane and you'll never be able to move it. And you'll basically be ruining your reed. So you don't want to do that. So get a pair of pliers and just simply bend this tip down so that you have a smooth sliding edge at the top. So this is what will be in contact with the underside of your tongue, and it's nice and smooth so it can be brought in and out of the reed. And you'll want to adjust this here to whatever size tubing the cane is so that it fits in nice and easy, just applying gentle pressure to cause lift in the tongue. And you can use these on bass drone reeds or tenor reeds with no problem. Again, that's a #1 paperclip. With those 3 methods at your disposal, there's no cane reed that you can't tame. If you have a reed that's really stubborn, the first thing I recommend doing is looking underneath the tongue, lift up on it, look inside, look for any stray fibers or cane hairs that may have come loose that are obstructing the reed from working properly. That's always the first step. If there is anything, a nice little round file like this that you can pick up at any hardware store, these are indispensable. You can go in and clean out the reed, pull out any little fibers. You can work underneath the tongue, sanding under here a little bit to remove any fibers or anything to clean things up. Once you have a clean reed, at that point, I would try springing the tongue by hand first. That's a very important skill to have. If that's not doing the trick, try the flame, heat set the tongue. Again, go very, very gentle. Take it in small steps. And if that doesn't work for you, then you can use the old paperclip trick. I don't recommend hairs under the tongue, but that works as well. I'm not going to demonstrate because I need to keep all this hair. But anyway, that should help get you going.